capital of Indiana in the heartlands of the United States, a center for government, business, sports, and culture. In the past, competitors have come to Indianapolis to test their skills against the highest standards of excellence. The Indianapolis 500, the United States Open Clay Court Championships, the National Figure Skating Championships, and the National Sports Festival have all seen scores of champions fulfill their dreams of greatness. Other dreams have also been fulfilled in Indianapolis. During the last decade, music, dance, and the theater have flourished and achieved national recognition. The International Violin Competition of Indianapolis was planned to be the ultimate achievement in discovering greatness and helping to fulfill it. The entire city has shared the excitement of these 2 weeks. As the participants began arriving in Indianapolis from all over the world, it was apparent that this competition was going to be special.
I'm quite nervous, but I'm excited. I never done something so big, so I guess it's an opportunity to find out how much I can do.
It's great to have this kind of competition in the United States. We all have to go to Europe in the past to compete in a size like this. You know, this is the biggest competition in United States history for violin.
44 of the best young violinists in the world arrived in Indianapolis ready to compete in the first quadrennial international violin competition. A party at the Indianapolis Museum of Art gathered the participants, host families, and volunteers together. The frivolity of the party soon gave way to the tension of competition as the participants assembled to draw lots to determine the order of play. Yuan Chung from mainland China, at age 18, the youngest participant, drew number 1. He would have to perform first for the judges. Some of the violinists were very nervous. And for others, the tension was too great to hold back. 20-year-old Carrie McDermott had a good reason to be leery of drawing her number after what happened to her at the Tchaikovsky competition in Moscow.
The last time I was here, they made me go up on stage first, mix the cards, and pick a card. And I picked a card, and it was number 1. So I was the youngest, the first person to pick a card, and number 1. And they came back this time, and everybody said the odds were, there was no way that could happen again. I walked up on stage and picked number 1.
As she selected her number, everyone shared her anticipation. Why a world-class violin competition in Indianapolis just a few months after the prestigious Tchaikovsky competition in Moscow? The answer lies in the Russian connection that can be traced to Joseph Gingold, one of the most beloved and respected figures in the violin world. Distinguished Professor Emeritus of Music at Indiana University, Joseph Gingold is generally considered one of the century's great violin teachers. Gingold traces his roots to the same extraordinary Russian Jewish background that for nearly a century has produced violin virtuosos and teachers. Gingold has served as a juror in every major violin competition in the world.
I felt that why can we not have an international violin competition in this country? However, it was a thought that I kept to myself. When one day I was approached by Cathedral Arts of Indianapolis, and everything I've ever dreamt of in the way of a competition was proposed to me. There were no politics. There were no question of nationality, race, or creed. And if I must say so, after a career of many years, I finally achieved something which was an ideal.
You know, it is this need of handing over the enthusiasm, the love of life and music that Joseph Gingold has, that is probably the basic reason that the international competition could have come into being in Indianapolis, and that it could have had the worldwide attention that it received, that it could have been as soundly and professionally designed as it was, that it could try to do the best it possibly could for the benefit of the young people involved, not of those who were organizing the competition.
The competition began at the Indiana Repertory Theater. In the preliminary phase, participants were required to play a work by Bach, Mozart, and Paganini.
I think that in all those performances, from the very start, there were single, very fine performances, which were most enjoyable. Sometimes the all-over performance may not have been quite sufficiently consistent or sufficiently balanced to justify the entry into the second round or in the finals, but there certainly were some most enjoyable and some, I would say, partly moving performances of certain pieces.
It has been more than I had anticipated. The level has been the highest that I have ever heard of any international competition. And I must tell you at this point that this is the 10th international competition where I have been a jurist.
But even the most seasoned competitors make mistakes. what a time for this to happen. The very nature of a competition makes it a stress-filled event. For months, every ounce of energy has been focused on playing.
Our first participant this afternoon is Mr. Sergio Schwartz.
And when the moment comes, the concentration must be on one thing and one thing only, giving the best performance.
The jury is going to be sitting upstairs in the balcony where they would not even see us, so that they would not feel, as I know in one competition, that the jury is sitting right underneath their feet and scribbling their notes. I know one participant that actually said he couldn't play because the pen was scribbling so much. I wanted them to feel as if they were coming out on the stage and giving a recital. And we just want them to fiddle their hearts out.
There are some competitions, first of all, that indeed there is no audience in the hall, at least in the preliminary stages. They see the bunch of jurors and they let you play a phrase from one piece. You play for 2 minutes, they clap their hands, and they yank you from that mood that you just started to get into. And they take you 100 years later on. They let you stay in that period for another 2 minutes, and then they yank you out of that. You cannot help feeling being pushed around.
But the Indianapolis competition, from the start, was planned to prove that there was such a thing as a humane competition.
I don't like that kind of dog-eat-dog world of competitions, but I'm very pleased with this one.
Et on sent que aussi, d'un point de vue instrumental, chaque participant est considéré déjà comme un artiste à part entière et non pas comme un élève qui vient, qui passe un concours et puis qui le rate et qui repart chez lui. On sent ici qu'on est accueillis comme des artistes, comme des violonistes déjà à part entière, et ça c'est très agréable.
Saturday evening. The preliminary round was over, and all the participants gathered at Christ Church Cathedral in the center of downtown Indianapolis. A concert by the cathedral choir of men and boys celebrated the end of the preliminary phase of the competition. In a few moments, 16 contestants would go on to the semi-final stage.
This is the highest standard of violin playing that I have had the pleasure of hearing. Bravo to all of you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read the names in the order in which the contestants are going to appear. Shin Kim, Yuval Yaron, Jacqueline Brand, Nayen Wu, Margaret Bacher, Julie Rosenfeld, Tatiana Dimitriades, Ida Kapavian, Piotr Milewski, Catherine Luchtenberg, Olivier Charlier, Maria Magdalena Bachmann, Sergio Schwartz, Yuriko Naganuma, Michaela Martin, Gwendolyn Herbig. Congratulations You have touched our hearts, and you have enriched our lives.
The Indianapolis competition has assembled the most impressive prize package of any competition. The first laureate will win a gold medal, $10,000, a Carnegie Hall recital in New York, and a recording contract. And nearly as impressive are the second and third prizes. The second laureate will receive a silver medal, $5,000, and an orchestral debut with the Academy of London at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in London. Third prize winner will receive a bronze medal and $3,000. All three winners will be scheduled for over 70 concerts throughout North America and Europe. Less than 18 hours after the announcement of the semi-final winners, the second phase of the International Violin Competition of Indianapolis was underway. Despite all the praise by the participants and judges, the schedule of play was still grueling. Day one saw Chin Kim, Jacqueline Brand, Na-Yen Wu, and Yuval Yaron performing. Of these first four semi-finalists, two would be going on to the finals. Yuval Yaron, at 29, nearing the end of his competition eligibility, was one of the contestants everyone was talking about. Yaron is a former student of the famed Jascha Heifetz. Later, he studied with Joseph Gingold, and he is a former winner of the Sibelius competition in Helsinki. Yaron was clearly viewed by many authorities as the favorite to win the gold.
I was in Moscow last summer as a guest of honor for Tchaikovsky competition because I won second prize in 1978. And they asked me what are my plans for the future, and then I said I'd like to go to Indianapolis competition. And there were a few of them, they said, oh, don't. And I was asking why I shouldn't go there. And they said, oh, listen, you have quite many prizes at important competitions, and if you don't get a good prize at this competition, it wouldn't be so good for you. And they said they heard there are some favorites for this competition who might take first prize or second prize.
His performance was predictably strong, and a certain mystique surrounded Yaron, a mystique that he almost worked to cultivate.
I think from my own experience, it's been very helpful for me to practice my own things that I had to play under exaggerated situations of that discomfort. So what I did, I closed myself in my own room, turned the air condition off in the unbelievable Indiana summer heat and humidity, and closed myself there, and for 3 hours or so, let myself practice and cope with that feeling. So when I went on stage and experienced all that, I was familiar with it.
Yaron even went so far as to refuse to stay with the host family assigned to him. Instead, he remained in his Bloomington apartment so that he could be alone. On the second day of semifinals, the audience was making a discovery: the unprecedented emergence of women in the competition. Margaret Beecher, Ida Kavafian, Tatiana Dimitriadis, and Julie Rosenfeld, 4 women, played.
You're aware that not only are you playing for the audience, not only are you playing for yourself, but you're playing for 11 people who are judging you with the absolute highest standards. And they themselves are fabulous musicians, critics, composers themselves. And it's a little bit sobering. Let's say you're playing a concerto and you get to the end of a long piece. Somehow your body just knows it's almost about to end. You know that the job is almost finished. And somehow you get, sometimes you can't help smiling in a situation like that. People have said, you just started to smile at the very end of the concerto, you know. It's just a feeling that you've accomplished something. right now I'm at a little bit of a crossroads in my career, and I think that's one of the reasons for my being. You've heard, oh, competitions are evil, necessary evils type thing. I think what I've decided is that if it's well run, I think as this is, that there's really nothing horrible about it. And I hope the person who wins, second and third prize, I hope they go on to wonderful careers. I wish everyone the best. And if it's not me, well, then I just go back and I practice and I get better, hopefully, and maybe I enter some more competitions. And if it is me, oh God, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Midway through the semifinals, the judges agreed that the decision on a final 6 was going to be very difficult.
We have started from the very high plateau of level of performance. And, you know, and out of that 45 approximately participants, we had to come down drastically down to 16. That's not fair, really.
Semifinals, day 3. Piotr Milewski, Catherine Luchtenberg, Olivier Charlier, and Maria Magdalena Bachmann. For Luchtenberg from Honolulu, Hawaii, this was her greatest challenge.
No, competitions are basically, they're very scary and never been fun for me. It's very difficult to lose oneself and think that you're performing, that you're playing your acts and you're really trying to just communicate, which is what music is about. And of course, what competitions are about is beating out the next guy. And these are my colleagues. When you have to, you know, think about how much better you're playing than somebody else, it's just a completely different situation. A big power, high-powered concert career, which this competition could very well do for someone. There are scheduled approximately 50 concerts a year. My word, that's a concert a week. I can't imagine doing something like that. What am I doing here?
Of the 4 players on this 3rd day, only 1 would advance to the final round. On the last day of semifinal competition, the judges heard Sergiu Schwartz, Yuriko Naganuma, Gwendolyn Hobig, and Mihaela Martin. Martin, 23 years old and a native of Bucharest, Romania, played very strongly in the preliminary phase.
Mihaela, 16.
That's right.
Okay, off we go.
She had won top prizes in previous European competitions, including the silver medal at the 78 Tchaikovsky in Moscow.
I hate competitions because I think it's an unusual feeling to be in a competition. I like to play. That it doesn't mean that I don't like to play, but I like to play for audience and not to be compared. I just had to take the chance. I think each one has his own chance in his life, so I just had to take it. If you want to make a real career, then you must know what you want to do. And you have to give up to a lot of things. You have to practice, to be careful every time you play, how you play, where you play. And there are a lot of things very important.
Now, all the attention shifted from the musicians to the jurors. It was up to them to decide which 6 of the 16 would be allowed to advance to the final stage. Participants, their hosts, and patrons eagerly awaited the jury's decisions.
Any changes of balance? Henry, do you have any change?
The judges deliberated, the computers whirred, and finally, after midnight, the announcement was made. For these 6 young violinists, the competition would continue.
They are Yuval Yaron, Nayen U, Ira Gavafian, Olivier Charlier, Yuriko Naganuma, and Michaela Martin.
The final phase of the International Violin Competition of Indianapolis moved to Cluse Memorial Hall on the Butler University campus. It would take 3 days for the 6 participants to play their final performances. In this round, the violinists performed with the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra under the baton of John Nelson.
And I personally find that in a competition, there is the certain tension and suspense which is built, which is highly entertaining, of course, for the public, however, can take its toll on the artist.
I had a feeling that you might want this slow, or rather not so slow.
Nayan Wu, at age 21, was the youngest finalist and an audience favorite.
Okay? Just those two bars.
A native of Taiwan, he trained at Indiana University.
I'm slowing down too much there for you, I think.
For his performance, he selected the Second Bartók Concerto, a 20th century masterwork, in sharp contrast to Sarasate's Carmen fantasy, which revealed Wu's virtuosity in the second phase.
I'll listen. I watch you like a hawk there. So just go.
Ida Kavafian of New York was another of the performers who brought a great national reputation to the competition.
The first round I was just thinking, because I had a tendency to really OD on performing times, you know, just really get so involved and put so much into it that it just, you know, you can overdo it.
Tis me.
I think it's important to have a point of view and to have something that sets you apart from other performers. And I think my life's greatest fear is to be boring, either as a player or as a person.
Can I go home now? Is it time?
my colleagues agree, and for sure it's my way of judging somebody is when I am there seated and then I can get a message from the performer. It doesn't matter if he or she plays in a different way that my conception is, you see. What is very important to be convinced by something. This is for me the most important thing.
Olivier Charlier came to Indianapolis from Paris, bringing with him not only one of the world's great Stradivari violins, on loan to him for the occasion from the private collection of the Paris Conservatory, but also Gallic temperament and charm.
No problem, no problem.
I try not to treat them differently in terms of time and in terms of what I want to do with them prior to the rehearsal. With all the artists that come to this orchestra as guest artists in subscription concerts, I give them private time in my studio, go through the interpretive things in the concerto, and make them feel comfortable, myself comfortable as well.
Un peu plus avant. Oui, un peu.
I've spent an hour and a half with them privately in my studio, and that's been, I think, a calming experience for them. Some of them respond to it openly, others respond to it in a closed fashion, which is interesting. I think they've worked very diligently on their interpretation, so why not let that blossom and make them as comfortable as possible, which puts a great challenge on us on stage to do it their way.
You can't hear this kind of playing in Moscow. You might hear two people of outstanding ability, and then it tends to dwindle down. But the level of this quantity in these surroundings is really uncommon and rarely precedented.
Then came the final day of the finals. Only 2 performers remained to be heard. Yuriko Naganuma from Tokyo, Japan was the first. Although the audience did not know it yet, her brilliant technique had already won her a special award for her interpretation of the Paganini Caprices in the preliminary phase of the competition.
It's the person who will convey his love of music and who will be able to make people enjoy it as we enjoy it. That's the one that's going to make it, I think.
And what we are looking for, all of us, and we hope to find, is individuality in a performer.
Even if you miss a note, it's not so important, you know. But if you miss the life of the music, this is very important, I think.
Though nearly completely unknown in the United States, Mihaela Martin arrived in Indianapolis with an impressive record of European successes in both competitions and the concert hall. She was the only one of the finalists who did not have a rare Italian violin to play, but she did carry with her the secrets of the great tradition of violin playing.
Let me do that once again, because I need to... Can we go to the same place?
Wait a little bit for me here. Because it doesn't sound if I...
Yeah. Good.
What we are looking for is a unique kind of personality, the really great artist who will play the Tchaikovsky concerto differently from the Bach Chaconne, who will play the Tchaikovsky absolutely with a wild, mad dance, and who will give all the inwardness and the beauty and
You strive for something, you set a goal, you work for something, and when you achieve, you feel that you have improved yourself. That is a wonderful thing.
They are standing on the threshold of maybe the hardest time of their life. There are going to be some very rough demands made on the people who win this.
Finally, after 11 unbelievable days, the competition at Indianapolis is over.
I'm so tired.
The thousands of people who have filled Clues Hall know that the jury's decision on a winner is going to be extremely difficult. But the question remains, who of the six will capture the bronze, the silver, and the all-important gold medal? Will it be the youngest finalist, Nyayen Wu, the player from Taiwan who delighted everyone with his vitality and musicianship? Or will the decision go to Yuval Yaron? As the oldest and most experienced finalist, he has already won several major competitions. At this point, his performance of the Isai Sonata during the semi-final round has earned him the President's Award. Ida Kavafian, the only U.S. finalist, is unquestionably a top contender. Her performance of 20th century music in the semi-final and final phases has established her credentials as one of America's finest instrumentalists. Olivier Charlier, the dashing young Frenchman from Paris, demonstrated interpretive authority and tonal splendor. With impeccable technical prowess, Yuriko Naganuma from Tokyo, Japan, already has won an award for the best performance of Paganini in the preliminary phase. She's hoping to leave Indianapolis with 2 top awards. The final candidate, Romanian Mihaela Martin, is the great question mark. Until now, she's been unknown in America, except in musical circles. In the semi-final phase, she played Improvisazione, written for this competition by Finnish composer Jonas Kokkonen, well enough to win a special award. But which artist has combined technique and musicianship to be judged the best? Who will win the gold? The announcement of the jury's decisions will carry some surprises. But as the computer begins compiling the scores, the world will have to wait one more day to discover the winner. The majestic Scottish Rite Cathedral, an Indianapolis landmark since the 30s, is the site of the Gala Award ceremonies.
The 6th place laureate and receiving an award of $1,000 is Yuriko Naganuma. The 5th place laureate, winning another prize of $1,000, is Nyayen Wu of Taiwan. The 4th place laureate is Olivier Charlier. The 3rd prize laureate is Yuval Yaron from Israel.
Thanks, Yuval. Thank you. We will announce the winner of the 2nd place. Obviously, you will then know the 1st place winner.
The name of our 2nd place laureate is Ida Kavafian. Our 1st place laureate is Mihaela Martin. It was just a joy, a dream come true for me. May it come true for others who also have a love of music, a love for the violin, and a love for humanity.